Hello, and welcome to the Export Marketing and Preparing for the West Africa event, Connect Trade event. My name is Karen Gibbs with By Hand Consulting, and I'm so happy to be working with you all on this program. So this is the fifth video out of a series of 8 coaching videos. And today we're going to be talking about best practices in digital marketing. What we know in the global market today, and particularly in how COVID is affecting the market environment, we know 2 things. One, we know that staying connected to your customer is absolutely essential to building and maintaining relationships with your customers. And the second, we know that digital tools and digital platforms are increasingly important in the way that buyers discover brands and stay connected to brands. So having a digital marketing strategy as part of your overall marketing strategy is essential in today's market climate. Another thing we know is that a digital strategy is not the same as a marketing strategy. So as we discussed in video number 2 in the best practices of export marketing, a marketing strategy has to define your target market and has to define your target customer. And that's really the basis of what will inform your digital strategy, of what tools to use and what messages to create. So the best practices in digital marketing, we can organize into these 6 steps. First, know your customer, the foundation of your marketing strategy. 2, define your brand, because that's going to be what is going to guide all the messages that you create. 3, have an effective website. 4, create an email program. 5, use social media appropriately, because we can spend a lot of time and energy on social media. So really spend the right amount of time and resources on it. And then 6 is test and adjust, always be flexible. So let's take a look at these. I'm having a little trouble with my presentation. I'm sorry about that. So the first is know your customer. The first principle or best practice is to know your customer. So first, you want to begin by defining who you are selling to in terms of whether you are selling to the end consumer, if you're selling to a small retail store, a large retail store, or a wholesale company. So this is really whether you are selling B2C or B2B, and what is the profile and the expectations of the customers that you are selling to. And as a reminder, we reviewed this in detail in video number 2. The second step is you want to define your customer's journey. We also talked about this in best practices and trade shows. Once you define your journey, you want to know what role do digital tools play in each stage of their journey. Here's an example of a customer journey. First, they become aware of your brand. Then they evaluate whether your brand is one they want to purchase. The third step is they purchase it. The fourth step is you deliver. And the fifth step is you have bonded. So you're really developing the relationship, right? Over time, and that's where you become profitable. So how do you figure out your customer's journey? Good question. Ask them. Talk to your customer and understand what is each of their phases that they go through, or talk to some of your peers in this program to understand and help define together the journey of the customer. So know your customer, know the profile of the customer you're selling to, and understand what their customer journey is. Second best practice is to define your brand and your brand messaging. This will make sure that all of your messages throughout your different channels, digital channels, are consistent with each other. A brand is much more than a logo, and there are many ways to approach branding, but here are some simple tips. First, What are your company values? Make a list of 3 to 5 that are most important to you. Secondly, what is your business's purpose or mission statement? This can be a statement that includes the type of products you offer, why they are unique, who you're selling to. It could also be something about the social, cultural, or economic impact you seek to make with your business. If you have a mission statement already, take time to see if it needs to be updated, refreshed, or maybe simplified to be more relevant to today and digital tools. The third section is, what is your signature style? This could be as simple as a selection of materials, techniques, motifs. Maybe you have one particular outfit that really defines your style. It could also be as comprehensive as a whole lifestyle design, right? So make a list of all these elements of your brand. I sometimes like to put them right on the wall, so you're looking at them all the time. And then use these elements, the design elements and the vocabulary, consistently across all of your channels. That will create some continuity between the different digital tools and consistent messaging. Right? Consistent messaging elevates your brand and makes your brand easier to discover and understand. Third best practice is to have an effective website. Now, we talked about all the information to include in your website or your social media channel in video number 4 about your export catalog and export tools. The most important goals for your website in terms of a digital marketing tool is to, 1, support your customer's journey, right? So how are they using it? Are they using it to discover your brand, evaluate your brand, place an order, etc.? And then 2 is you want your website to show up in Google searches or internet searches when people search for keywords that are related to your brand. Okay, the term SEO is important for your website's effectiveness. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. So that means you put content, you put words and descriptions on your website that will help customers find your website through online searches. Now, SEO marketing can be very complicated, but here are a few simple tips. So develop a list of keywords that you know your customer uses to search for new vendors and products. If you don't know what those might be, try doing a search yourself. Put in, for example, fashion brands from your country or West Africa, and see what comes up. See if any companies similar to yours show up, or see if your company shows up. Right? So you can search for things and see what the search results are. And in that way, you know what those words are that buyers might use. On your website, create a title page for each of your, a title for each page of your website. And in that title, use those keywords. Okay. And you can also, within your website platform, create these meta descriptions that have a very clear call to action, what you want buyers to do. But really, the most important thing to do is to have that title for each page of your website. Now, if you want more support on this, there's some paid services, and there's some also free services on Neil Patel Tools and Answer the Public, who have some more information about this. The fourth best practice is to have an effective email marketing strategy. Now, email is the most effective digital tool in terms of return on investment for B2B marketing. So, how do you go about doing this? First, you need to have a customer list or a mailing list. This is one of the most important assets of your business. You want to grow your email list. You want to find new contacts and add them to your list. You may also want to segment your list. If part of your list is B2C and part of your list is B2B. But keep a good customer list. You could keep that customer list on a piece of paper. You could keep that customer list in a Google sheet. You could keep that customer list on an Excel sheet. You want to be able to export it in order to send emails to buyers. Right? So that's the most important. Keep all of your contacts together, organized in one place, and continue to add contacts to that list, right? That's who you're going to communicate to. That's who you're going to be cultivating as future customers. The second is you want to use an email marketing service. So some of them include HubSpot, MailChimp, MyEmma, or Constant Contact. HubSpot is free for sending up to 2,000 emails a month. The other three you have to pay for. So these email marketing services are going to do two things. One, they'll help you organize your customer list. And two is they have some templates so you can send out, as you see here on the right-hand side of this screen, so that you can send out very visually appealing, right? Visually rich, well-designed emails. So what is some of the best practices in email marketing? And that is, for each email that you send, have one clear goal, right? And within that goal, right? So understand maybe that goal is to introduce a new product, or share your catalog, or promote a special offer, or announce you're participating in a trade show, or share more information about you. But only have one goal. Don't complicate it with too many messages, because then the buyer is not going to read it. The second is have a very clearly defined CTA, or call to action, that relates to your goal. So the action is, what do you want the buyer to do? This could be download your catalog, visit your new website, email you for more information, place an order, visit you at a trade show, right? If appropriate, you want to even include a link in the email that allows them to do that action, right? So in the example here on the right-hand side of the page, the CTA, the call to action, is to join them at the trade show. So make sure your brand fits make sure your email fits your brand personality. So are you using the language, the colors, the style, and the design motif that you defined in your brand statement? In these email programs, you can create a template that maybe has those colors already built in, or has your mission statement at the bottom of the email. So you have that consistency over time, right? That consistency will help a buyer remember you. Make sure the emails are visually driven. Remember, buyers want to see your products first and foremost, and you want them to buy your products. So don't fill the email with lots of writing, right? Make images of products central to your email, and use simple language and short sentences. In this example here on the right, you can see how the products are centrally featured in the email. So you know immediately what type of products you will see at their booth in the trade show. The third is create a schedule, monthly, quarterly, or bi-monthly, to send emails, but only send emails when you have something newsworthy. Right? The goal of your emails is to keep your customer updated on what you're doing, remind them of how amazing you are, and make sure it's easy for them to be in touch with you. The email is like you knocking on their door every once in a while to say hello. Here are some examples of an email from an artisan company called Lika Designs. The goal of the email is to announce their fall winter collection. They have a clear call to action. which is to shop now, and their email is full of images of their products. And you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen is Lika's website. Let's see if I can move my little video picture of myself. So you'll see how consistent it is in terms of colors, logo, language, right? Their email is very similar to their website. Here's another example from a company called Orna in India. The email here is to showcase their new tote bags. You can see there's a very clear call to action, which is to shop our totes. There's even a little button right there, and it has a link to take you directly to their catalog. The email features of the images of their bag, first and foremost, and then a story about the artisans and who make them. And you can see how their email has the same coloring and branding as their website. Now here's another example from Bawa Hope. And their email is not as strong as the others, right? It doesn't have a clear goal. There's a lot of text, but no clear headline or message. The photo shows a product being made by hand, but it's not clear what the product is. There are no buttons or links that the buyer can click on. This email is just not as effective as the other ones in terms of being a marketing tool. You can see their website on the right, however, it has a very clear message about who they are, what they offer, and kind of their branding and style. So their email could borrow more from their website to create that continuity and a more effective message. Social media can be a useful tool, but it needs to be used carefully and appropriately. For most export, artisan brands, and fashion brands, social media channels are a good way to convey product images to customers, but it does not have as high a return on investment as email marketing for B2B channels. As we discussed in video number 4, you can use your social media channels in lieu of or instead of a website, so long as your social media channels have the same information that a website has, because that's how a customer, those are the questions a customer needs to have answered. So some tips for social media is look at your competitors or other companies you admire and see what social media outlets they use. Secondly, select no more than 2 channels for your business. Focus your time on making those 1 or 2 channels the best possible rather than using multiple channels. I find that most brands are using Instagram and LinkedIn because they serve 2 very different purposes in reaching different audiences. Remember to define social media's role on your customer journey. Is it discovery, evaluation, purchase? And then make sure your social media channel is consistent in those branding, language, design, and style with your other channels. And then create a schedule for posting regular updates. I know this is a lot of information, and I imagine your heads are spinning and where you should start. My recommendation is to make a list of the digital tools that you are using today. This could be your website, Instagram, email marketing, Facebook, maybe others, and decide which is the most successful. Which one do your customers visit the most or respond to the most? Which one attracts the most visitors, right? Or has the most interaction? That's one you can focus on first. Always try to improve your existing tools before developing new ones. And make a list of possibly 2 or 3 things that you could do over the next month, right? Keep it simple. Maybe it's just updating your mission statement and your contact information in your social media channels so that it serves more as purpose as a website. Or maybe it's you need to research a new email CRM program like those ones we just reviewed. So to summarize, we've discussed 6 things to do as best practices in digital marketing. Know your customer, define your brand, have an effective website, or use your social media channels as an effective in lieu of a website. Use social media appropriately. Just choose 1 or 2 channels. And lastly, remember to just test and adjust. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was a useful review of digital marketing tools and how you can develop a strategy to connect with customers and participate in the global market. Thank you.